to our channel Adolf Юрьев and our team. We have a lot of material and ideas for you, no doubt. We did the roses divided, right? Last lesson we stopped on decoration and picking up this cant, counting the background, which is from the border. So now, here, we don't touch. We move to the next side where I worked with the creation of cants. Accordingly, such a bagel, counting geometry showing these and those fragments. Like, for example, here, we created some fragments. Counting the usage of rounding and adding volume, this or that way. In that case, as we marked before, we created the image of a letter C by hand, without any gauges. We did it. So on that stage, we moved to the following. As you see, you did like that by hand. Accordingly, if you didn't like it, you expunge it and create another composition, a new one. For example, you divide it here into two halves, then you lead like this or another way the figure. On white fragments, you can create different figures. Here you can draw a bud, for example, like this. Next but one, as one of the ideas. In that case, we don't touch this. We take a V tool and create for the beginning our outline format. Here, for sure, we'll carve out of the borders. We'll go out. Please, don't hurry. Be careful. As you see, notch deep. Like this. Continue. Good. You can notch not deep, but like that you can do it. Not to make it difficult, then you can show everything fast in outline. As we told you before, first is draft work, because geometry is different. Everything differs. In this part, a moment please. We told you before about the fiber orientation. You remember about this, right? This time we'll remind you how and where, what to do. Here there might be a chopping off. We didn't have to do that. I'll explain everything. In fact, we predicted it. Here you had to notch differently. I'll show you intentionally this moment, breaking all the rules how to prevent a chopping off, just for you to have a look and to understand the whole thing. This is what you can face. Usually nobody shows such things. They are missed in the master classes and so on. Here you see such cracks, not even parts. Now we'll move to this part. I'll show you what to do with those positions. We have a defective part here, right? Because here is fiber direction. To notch here clean, what do you need to do? Approximately here and the same there's a chance that we'll face the fiber, and automatically there will be a defective part. So what do we need to do here? Put away your V tool and take a swallowtail knife or a knife that you have. Here cut with your knife. If you speak about leanness, you understand what I mean. Accordingly, if you compare this and that, you need to use a knife to fix a chopping off. I think it's clear. The same thing If you work with a semicircle gouge, it can also take the fiber after itself and cause a defective part. In such a case, you need to stop and use a knife. In fact, here, the same way. Here is the fiber direction. If I continue, I'll break the wood. I take away, let's repeat in practice, just incline. It could break here. And let's go back to those parts. 1, 2, 3. Those are the parts where you can have such a chopping off. I think you got the main idea. It's the same when we explain the following. For example, we divided, and divided, as you remember, we use a system of a triangle. From that part to the half, that way, you got this way. From here, there, you got that way. From here, there, that way. And from here to that part, that way. Same way here, be it a V-tool or a semicircle gouge. Quite often you can face such a defective part. It's about the V-tool and semicircle gouge usage. If we work inside of the fragment, here, inside, we can work with a semicircle gouge. Not because the gouges are not sharp, but because the wood behaves so, usually in such places. We'll go back to those moments later and explain you what you need to do with those positions. So, we continue. We have such a basis. Now we need to do what? First of all, is to fix the defective part created. At least partially. Why? Because we'll notch here further. Now, we do what? Automatically, those notches are damaged, and if you highlight them, they will not be proportional. We will not keep the symmetry. This part we need to show with the turning. What for? I'll explain in the process and you will understand why. The development of the pattern will be quite interesting. We continue. Like that. Now here, for sure, cut in the outline 100%. Work from the direction of this tail. 1 second. Like that. Here. Be careful. Like that, showed. At once. Mark for yourself, not to get confused. Next. Accordingly, this part the same way. Firstly, we showed this with the V-tool. Why? To create the outline. Like this. We need it for sure. Here, it's longer process, I agree. Notch till the end. Why in fact we started to notch out of borders? Next, any person can use here different tools. He can use a swallowtail knife or his or her own knife. Here is a task to lower it and to lower exactly inside, as we did, for example, here. So we can use here sloping gouges. Carefully, like this. Don't hurry. Move down. Of course, the process is longer, but believe me, it's worth doing. Here, work carefully. Here, in fact, playing with levels is cool. Counting, rounding off, counting, lowering, counting, using different tools, and so on and so forth. So as you understand, you pick up your figures, either with sloping gouges or your knives, accordingly. You add certain volume. Of course, you move to the essence of its origin, so to say. This part you round off, like this. Very nice. You create certain figures. I'm telling you the following. Any figures of geometry wood carving or any wood carving, they are to be rounded off. In any case, as a rule. Next, we have such details left. No doubt, you can lower them more. Those parts with the more sloping gouges, accordingly to geometry position, say we enter with one semicircle gouge, show, next, show, show, and show. Then, in the other position, you break, break, and break. It will be a compound element, interesting one. Next, those parts, when you show them with V-tools, you need to show them with the semicircle gouge in the direction. Then, here, mark and show with V-tools more. Afterwards, you use here a sloping gouge and also use it. Next, you can use next but one, the sloping gouge, then here inside, as the cover which is laying crumpled. Here it's better to show inside this element, counting the certain branching. Then after shading next but one, such elements will be shown very nice. Here it is. It's not when it's monotonous in one composition, but it's in some distance, using cans and some separation. Here, the same. How you can create a shell. For example, from here, you show with the semicircle gouge. Here, you notch with the semicircle gouge the same way there. As far as we have two directions, branching, that is why semicircle creates a shell. Two paws you lowered, that one you highlighted, accordingly it will be original and unique. Step by step notching like this. Next, friends, do as you see and understand. Accordingly, you do what? We move to the next stage. On that stage, that is all. To cut a long story short, I'll complete that cycle myself, count and touch on this part. So, regards from friends from Adolf Yuriev and our team. The cycle we didn't show from the beginning till the end, how we actually completed those fragments. We started in from the rosets from the center. We showed how to carve it. Next we moved that way. Please, you are welcome to show how you developed your pattern. Same way here you can carve that side as there, or develop a little different pattern. Accordingly you move here and there, counting lowering. That's all. Subscribe to our channel, like and comment our videos, watch us further. It will be much and more interesting every single next time. Because the program is rich, we have a lot of materials, and excuse us for inserting the small videos in our master classes. That's not because we are asked or we have to do that. I mean we or our partners. We intentionally insert some videos which partially are connected with instruments. Why? I explain. Everything is quite simple. First, because people quite often ask in comments where to buy the tools, how to buy them, how to get a consultation, and so on. To make all the small organizational questions be answered at once, we actually insert the videos with direct links. This is a link to the tools. Pay your attention, those who can't buy something we provided budget tools for you. They are already available on our sites. From our partners, I mean Stray Company. Of course, we continue providing professional tools which are polished and so on. Instruments for geometry. These are the plates, frames for your work, and different accessories. So friends, welcome to the club of ebonists and woodcarvers who just started. If you decided that this is your craft, continue practicing and contact us via Viber, WhatsApp, Skype or email and so on. Thanks for watching. Godspeed.